Come in, downstairs. Come on, downstairs. Right. Well, good morning everyone. Happy Friday. I don't know what day it is. Hold on. Bear with. Friday the 23rd of August. And this is the first time I've picked up my vlogging camera since December. So we are 8 months of no posting. So this video, I thought today would be a really good idea to pick up the camera and just film a little bit of a day in the life, but mainly an update on my bodybuilding competitive journey, because we've now officially, well, not set them actually in date, but we've now actually set a plan of what's going to happen moving forward. And there's a lot happened. You know, lots of people post show that competed when I did, some of them are competing again. I of course have my reasons why I'm not, and I just want to be really transparent with the whole post show process, because even though I've been fine, it was a struggle, and there were things that I got sort of warned about that might happen, and they came about, and even though I was prepared for them, I was still, like, it still didn't go smoothly. 1 second. The dog wants to go out and play and fight the air, apparently. But yeah, so today I'm going to take you through like a little bit of a day in the life, mainly a bit of a morning in the life, because there's not really all that much going on this afternoon. And then I'll give you a big update. So it's just gone past, what, 7:30 on the dot. We are taking the dogs out in about half an hour, and then we've got a guy coming. Our garden is being done. We've lived in this house for
10 years.
10 years.
2 years.
Is it 3 years this November?
2 years, isn't it?
Is it only? I thought it was 3. Yeah, we lived 2 years, and the garden obviously is a bit of a hefty job. So we left that a little bit, but this guy coming around today. What's he doing?
Having a poo.
Having a poo, lovely. We are having him coming around. He came around yesterday to give us the sample slab of our new patio. Got some lovely porcelain tiles, and then he's coming today to like spray paint the garden of the areas that he's going to do everything, because when the garden's actually being done, Christian, my husband, he's not here, so I'm all alone, and I don't want to have to make any decisions whilst he's gone. So he's coming around to do that, and then me and Chris are going to the gym, because we're going to go and use the steam and sauna room, and we're not going to go and train. Just go use that for a little bit of a recovery. I need it for my body, he needs it for his body, and his voice is singing in a show in the minute, and it's just, everything's feeling a little bit tired. And then we're going to come back, and then the main bulk of my day today is admin and just programming for new clients beginning on Monday. And then this afternoon, just kind of finalising that, but hopefully come around 3 o'clock, I'll be able to have a bit of a chill. This is their husband. So yeah, that is the plan. I felt your heavy breath through darkness. The smoke is getting close to my bed. I cannot make a sound. Empty lungs, sleeping but awake, paralyzed.
Glorious day.
Lovely day, but my God, it's freezing. Oh. Let's hope the dogs don't get blown away. Here we go. Come on in. So just got back in from the gym. We went this morning, went in the hot tub, went in the sauna and steam, and just did a little bit of a stretch, which was lovely. So I'm now back. The guy who was coming for our garden this morning forgot that he was coming, so we waited for half an hour, and he rang me and said, oh sorry, I completely forgot. So that was that. So we just headed off to the gym, just gone back. Christian's now gone. He's going to a funeral today. His friend's dad sadly passed away a couple of weeks ago, and there's him and I think about another 15 of the boys that are in the show, or have done the show that he's doing at the moment, and they're all going to sing at the funeral, so just helping him get ready and get sorted for that. So now I'm about to make myself a protein coffee. And then I've got a call with a client at 11, but she's just running a little bit behind. She's just completed the 12-week program, and she is now, we're just basically going to chat about her options that she's got now moving forward, depending on what she wants to do. And then I'm going to make myself some food after that, because I haven't actually eaten anything yet today except a couple of rice cakes, so I'm getting starving. So I'm gonna have my coffee now whilst I chat to her, and then have some food, and then I might just sit down and sort of start to fill you in on kind of how I was from January up until now, update of what everything's just been like. So I feel like, you know, I was as transparent as I possibly could during the prep, and I want to be now, and I think it's just something, you know, I know there are a lot of girls who messaged me who are, you know, beginning their prep now. I know I'm doing posing coaching with a girl who found me through YouTube, who said that she found it really helpful, because at the time when you're filming it, you're kind of thinking, is this, you know, is it boring to watch? Whereas I feel like anyone who was interested in starting the journey, thinking about doing it at some point in, you know, bodybuilding, it was people have found it really helpful, basically. So I want to be as transparent as I can now with how this is as well. So I'm going to make my coffee and then call, and then we'll chat. And the coffee that I'm having, by the way, is from Reformed. It's a collagen mocha. So it's got 11 grams of protein in as well, which is obviously fantastic. And it's 21 vitamins and minerals, 100 milligrams of lion's mane blend, no sugar. There's basically no rubbish in it whatsoever. It is absolutely delicious. I do have a discount code as well that I will pop down below in the, if anyone wants to try it. They do the collagen mocha, they do the just a regular coffee as well, and it's really, really good. Get your coffee or your mocha with the health benefits as well. Hello!
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. You look lovely and glowy and tanned and fresh. I just had a lovely catch up. That girl's just, like I said, just finished 12 weeks. She's had a lovely holiday, and so all being well, we'll be moving into the running membership, because I feel like she's got a little bit more to give. So I've just kind of spoken through what I would put as kind of like the next phase for her. So she's gonna she just got back in from a food shop, so she'll let me know a bit later on what she wants to do. But so I'm decided randomly now, I'm actually not hungry anymore, but I know I will be soon. So I'm just going to finish off this and then I'll make something. But I thought now would just be a good time to kind of just talk through my post-show experience, as this is something that is different for every single person, and you know, I was as prepared as I feel like I could have been for going through a post show before. And so for those of you who are new, who maybe this is the first video that you're watching, last year I competed for the first time as a bikini bodybuilding athlete. It was my very first time competing. I was a professional dancer prior to this. After COVID, I stopped performing. And after about 2 years, I was missing that kind of performance element and having something specific to work towards. So I decided to compete in bodybuilding, which I'd looked at before, but I'd never really done my research. So I got a coach, went through a 4-month improvement season, then into a 20+ week prep. And my last show was on the 9th of December. I went over in Paris to the pro qualifier. Didn't get my pro card, but I think it's not very often that people get their pro card in their first year. So that was just kind of to see how we fit in. But really, and I think my coach would most likely agree with me as well, my body, it was still responsive, but everything was just being a lot slower. I didn't come in as lean as I probably could have done and had done previously. I also think the travel didn't help the day before, so that if we are looking at doing some abroad shows again, and I will do it a load differently. Like, I will be out there a whole week before to let my body fully settle. But anyway, that's for a different story. So I finished on the 9th of November, and me and my coach spoke, and some coaches will have their set ways for their athletes to reverse post show, and others will have their own set way. But I have a very good head on my shoulders when it comes to my body image, body dysmorphia, when it comes to food, how I view food, and even after dieting I still kept that. So she, you know, just my coach said, right, I'm going to let you do whatever you feel is right. Obviously she guided me and she did wonderfully. She did as much as she could have done. And so my post-show experience, it wasn't perfect, but until you've been through a post-show experience, you can't really explain it. Even in my head, when I was 8 weeks out for my very last show, I had how it was going to be, and it was completely different. And I'm sure the next time that I go into a post show, it will be completely different again. All being well, I will handle it better. Not that I handled it bad, but she just said, you know, whatever your body's telling you that you need to right now, you do. Especially with it was only being 2 weeks up until Christmas and then going into January. And one thing that I didn't suffer with at all, and something that I've never suffered with before, is binge eating. I didn't do that. However, one thing for me post-show that I didn't realise the severity of this, is how completely off your hunger cues are. So when I say I didn't binge, I mean there was no secret eating, there was no spooning out of a jar or anything like that, but I did overeat simply because my body wasn't registering that I was getting full until I was absolutely stuffed. So I kind of just went back to eating all the foods that I'd missed, things like a tuna pasta bake I was having, and even though I was very much going off my hunger cues, they were so off. I was either starving or I was completely full because I'd eaten, and it took me a while to sort of find the middle ground, but I didn't realise this up until probably halfway through January, so about 4 weeks-ish post-show after Christmas. And of course Christmas, me and my husband, we had a quiet Christmas, just the two of us, and we went to Miller and Carter. So the food I was having post-show was too rich, and I was probably having too much of it. So I just, like I said, with how I view food, and I do have a very healthy sort of relationship with food and things like that, I didn't even realise. So I just kind of went back to eating normally, which for a normal person wouldn't have been fine. But obviously for me, post-show dieting, you know, I mean, at one point my calories were under 1,000 a day whilst doing 60 minutes of cardio a day, you know. And I thought I was doing the right thing. My workouts were very limited. My steps were kept up, but my food was up high, and my exercise and movement was low apart from steps. I think throughout December I honestly went to the gym 3 times and did a little random full body session, just did a little bit of what I wanted to do, which I now know, looking back, I actually shouldn't have done, even though my body just felt exhausted. I was like, it needs a break, but actually I think I would have done it better by just carrying on with the routine that I was in. So that was sort of leading up until Christmas. And then come January, middle of January, we went away to Centre Park, so that was 4 days away. And then it wasn't really until sort of February, end of Feb time, that I started to say, right, now we need to really get yourself back in check. So this was about 2 months of being very relaxed, getting into the gym more, but around my nutrition was not good. Not good as in I was just eating what I wanted. It wasn't an unhealthy diet, it wasn't McDonald's every day, but it was, you know, just eating in probably over my maintenance, because until I was absolutely stuffed, my body wasn't telling me that I was full. So February, I got my bloods done. Was that right? February, March, April, May, June. Maybe it was March time actually. I can't fully remember. But around end of February, March time, I got my bloods done, which, you know, especially if you are a natural athlete like I am, you still need to make sure that you do your bloods. And one thing that I will do going forward next time, which is again a learning curve, as soon as I have done competing, I will get my bloods done then, and then I will get my bloods done again probably another 8-10 weeks after that, and then I will probably get them done again, just so I can see how they are. But obviously I'm not going to go into a ton of detail, one, because even though looking at it I know what this means and what that is, I can't fully explain it properly because it is all quite confusing and lots of big words and things like that. But my cortisol was through the roof, and I think that's explained the way that I looked. Yes, I had gained weight, obviously, because of the sheer amount that I was then eating compared to what I had done before, but I think with just the amount of stress that my body had gone through, I was so inflamed. I felt so uncomfortable. I look back at photos of me, my face looked like a balloon. Even up until sort of May time, my arms, everything was just really puffy. It was like there was loads of water and just inflammation sitting underneath. So the main two for me were cortisol was really, really high, as was my cholesterol, and I had seen a change in my like my resting heart rate and things like that, and I think that was just from the foods that I was having. And in my prep, I ate a lot of red meat, which I think going into another prep I will potentially look at other sources to use, but they were the main two, along with a few other things that I just needed to have a look at. So I spoke with my coach, and I had the assistance from Nathan from AN Education, if that's what it is, and he put me on a couple of supplements to try and get it changed, and I am due. I still haven't done them. I had them done by the GP and levels had dropped down way more closer to normality, and that was about a month and a bit ago. So I'm due getting my actual blood test done again properly through the athletic, through the proper competitive blood count that they do absolutely everything, but everything is coming down and I just feel so much better now. But so over the last couple of months, what the focus has been as much whole foods as possible. I had set foods to make sure that I included each and every day. All of the stuff that I was eating before, but I didn't realise the benefits of them for how I was dealing with at that time. So made a few changes there, and was making sure, obviously, back in doing movement, implementing cardio again, nothing too crazy, but actually having a set routine, because I'd lost my routine a little bit, and I just kind of threw myself into work, which was sat down all the time. So made those changes, just make sure I got back into my routine, food was good, and give it sort of 4 or 5 weeks, I was back in normal clothes. Not normal clothes, like back in feeling my best in my normal clothes again, because like these things that I had, this really gorgeous, I got it for Christmas, a Rains waterproof proper raincoat, and I can remember I put it on, it must have been end of January, start of February, and before it was loose. I mean, it's one of those ones where it pulls in tight at the waist, but then it's like quite loose and long fitting. I couldn't fasten the zip. I think I gained about 15 kilograms, which is way too much. And you know, I'm a bit disappointed in myself that it happened, but I feel like it is what it is. But lessons learned, obviously, for next time. So yeah, and I, like I say, did the supplements, made a few changes, and now I just feel I'm back to myself now. Weight is back down to what we were before. Because one thing that I was, you know, talking about my coach about was, I feel like before I started competing, so January 2023, I believe my weight was about 52 kilograms. So in my head, like when we just completed, so basically, one thing I missed out, from sort of March time up until about 2 weeks ago, we were just in my health phase. We weren't dieting, we weren't trying to build muscle, we were just getting a good routine, just looking after my body. And I know some girls have gone straight into a prep, they're back in prep again now, and I just feel like I potentially in the future I could do that once I've got this sort of set and I understand more how what my body needs post show, but I just couldn't have done it. So we've been in a health phase for the last 3 months or so, 3-4 months, which has been really, really good, and really beneficial. But I can't remember where I was going with this now. Yes, that's what I was saying. My weight when I very first started was about the sort of 51/52-ish area. And I kept saying to my coach, you know, I just want to get, when I completed my health phase for the last sort of 8 weeks, we did do a little bit more of a cut. We implemented cardio, even more cardio. And I was like, I just want to get into the 52s. And then we kind of had a chat and I was like, I am probably now the equivalent of where I was before I started, which was me at my healthiest. But I'm about 1.5 kilograms heavier now. And as my coach reminded me, because this is why I coach, even he's a coach, she was like, but you have so much more muscle than you had prior from what we built in the 4 months in your improvement season before you competed last year. But also over these last couple of months, even though we've not been meaning to, clearly we can see I have put on a little bit of muscle. So, you know, muscle is a little bit more dense and things like that. So I feel like now I am back to a very, very good starting position, because this is the second week of my official off season, which I'll get into more in a minute. But I just think, you know, if you're going through a post show, you can plan as much as you can, but your body's gonna do what it's gonna do. And I feel like my major lessons learned is, you know, what they say, you know, imagine if your prep is 20 weeks, imagine that your prep is an extra is 28 weeks in total, you know. And I feel like the main things that I would change for me when I do it next time, or what I will make sure that I do, is not implementing your normal foods straight away. Carry on, you know, because I was still having, like, I love fire yogurt, I was still having oats, I was having dark chocolate, which I love, sea salt dark chocolate, eggs, chicken, pasta, all of this I was still having. So I feel like my focus next time will be eating the same foods as what I had done, but just having a little bit more to start with. Keeping my routine in check, which I, you know, was set to do. And I think what I'd probably say to my coach next time is, can you please give me some new workouts, fresh workouts, just for these next couple of weeks, just so I can get something that I can go on. But I feel like when the workouts are the same as the training, you're still kind of in that prep mode, where when it's something different, you've naturally got a more fresh approach, which can help as well. And another thing that my coach did, which I think is wonderful, but I think for me I actually need something a bit different, is she was like, don't worry about you checking photos, it's fine. However, I feel like from a health perspective, if I had still knew I was checking in every, you know, couple of days with my photos and things, I naturally would have made sure that I kept on it more, because I wouldn't have wanted to have shown up and her being saying, look, we can see what's happening, like, let me know. Whereas, and I feel like having those check-in afterwards, next time I would like to keep them in, just so it keeps me in check a little bit more. Because like I said, even though I didn't binge, I didn't go over, I did let myself go, if that's what we're gonna say. So yeah, that is what that is. So I spent the first month and a bit post show just being far too relaxed, and then I obviously went into just a bit of health phase, trying to get myself sorted out, and we're now back into a very, very comfortable position, and I'm officially 2 weeks into my off season, which is great. I've got very similar workouts, because when you're working for bikini, your physique needs to, there's a very specific goal that we're reaching for: glutes, hams, shoulders. So it's very similar to what I always have been, but we've just made a few small changes. And I've, this week especially, the first week when you're trying to get to grips with it, just having, you know, with the new changes, but this week especially, I've really, really, really enjoyed my sessions, and it's been a really good week. So we're now sitting, oh, excuse me, sitting at 1,800 calories a day, 130 grams of protein, and this is kind of just my maintenance. My weight went up a touch, but I also had last weekend I had my granddad's 90th birthday, so I had, you know, I indulged that day as well, but we're sitting at around 54 kilograms now, just under 54 kilograms, but really happy. Body seems to be really responsive, and it's all going really, really well, so that is good. And it's nice, I'm finding that, you know, because I've never been much of a foodie, and that I think was why I found the prep quite easy, because the food, I didn't get food boredom or anything like that. And then after the show, it was, oh my god, I was wanting all sorts. Another thing I would do, which is, even though they tasted phenomenal, I wouldn't have a big cookie again after a show. I just wouldn't do it. The post-show meal that did me the best was at McDonald's. All I had was, I had half a McChicken sandwich and half a McSpicy, because we got this McSpicy. I was like, oh, that's really nice. So I had like a McChicken sandwich meal, but half and half, with a fries and a Coke Zero. And I think I had a little chocolate bar. I think I had, it was like a bag of Maltesers or a bag of Milky Way or Milky Stars, Magic Stars, something like that. And that was enough that it satisfied me. I deserved that. I was craving at McDonald's, but and that was all I had. And I can remember getting home, chugging loads of water, and I said to myself, you don't need any more. You know, even though I wanted it at the time, I was like, you don't need any more. You've satisfied your sweet cravings. You feel nicely full, not too full. So let's just leave it at that. And I felt that was the day I felt so much better. Whereas the days where after my first show I went to Dishoom because I was craving an Indian was my favourite cuisine. Worst thing I did, I was on the toilet all night. I also had a donut that night which I devoured with custard. Again, didn't help either. I can remember it was 10 o'clock at night and I was walking the streets, needing the fresh air, just pressing on my tummy, needing to digest. And then the other times I had, the night that I had my Nando's, that went also quite well, but I also had a cookie, big thick cookie, and that did me no favours. So I think another thing I would do is not have that, you know. The things that I crave, yes, chocolate, but I'd maybe just get myself like a little raspberry ripple bar instead. But the things that I crave a lot of the time is things like watermelon, fresh, which I think I'd do next time. I would definitely change that the next time that I compete, because it's just, I can remember my coach saying, it's not going to taste as good as you think it's going to. And even though it tasted insane, she was so right, it didn't taste as good, and that's why it almost doesn't satisfy you and you want more. And I think that's why it's just best just to stick with the fresh foods and stuff that you know serves you well. I was going somewhere else with that again, but I can't remember. So yeah, so we're now in improvement season, no, off season officially, first official off season, because even though I'm off, I'm on off improvement, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, so the goal is now over the next 7, 8 months, we are building. And I know that, you know, some girls have gone straight back into it again, but for me, for my health, I wanted to take more time off, just because of what I put my body through the month after the prep. I just know that I need to take that a little bit more time, and I'm glad that I did. I'm also know that, you know, I came into this sport older. I'm 31 this year, so the next time I step on stage I'm gonna be 32. So I want to make sure that I am not wasting any time, because I know I do think that going into this sport a little bit older is better. My body is set. I have more stature anyway from when I began than when I would have done if I started when I was 20 years old. So there's pros and cons, I think, to either way. But I want to make sure that the next time I step on stage, because I did do really well, and I was shocked at how well I did do. You know, in my first season, I won an overall. I got pretty much all first placings apart from 2 seconds. I earned my pro status. I came second in the pro show on the day that I earned my pro status. So I know that I did really well, and I know that I do have a lot of, potential. I know that I have a lot of potential in this sport, coming from a natural athlete especially, because yes, I could go down the other route, but that just doesn't interest me. I naturally hold muscle really well, so I just want to make sure that the next time I step on stage, you know, the judges see me and go like, oh my god, wow, like I mean, they might not even remember me, but the judges, people who saw me compete before, I want them to be like, she has worked hard, she has improved her physique. I don't want to step on stage the same. You put your body through far too much to step on stage and look the same, and that is what I don't want to do. And like I said, as I'm coming into this a little bit later, I'd rather take a little bit more time. You know, maybe 1 year I'll compete back to back, but I've also got a couple of things going on next year. This year on my prep, it was my best friend's wedding, which I was on prep for, and you know, it was just, you do miss out a little bit, so I think you have to be more than ready, whereas I know we've kind of picked roughly when I'm next going to compete, but it's kind of, you know, we're taking it a little bit steady. So yes, we're looking at about 7-8 months, and then we're going to do a little cut and see where we're at, and then we're going to make our final decision. But I've got more than enough time to just enjoy life a bit more, really focus on just doing what I can with my physique to get it where it needs to be to earn my pro card, because that is the goal that I have got, and I will not rest until I have it. And you know, it looks like they are putting on more natural shows. You know, I competed in the Open and I still did really well with everything. So yeah, so that is kind of where we are at now with how everything's looking. So just enjoying life a little bit more. But I love bodybuilding. I know on the outside it can look not so great, but it has improved me in many ways. I feel like over the last year and a bit I have grown up so much. The discipline, I didn't realise I had the discipline that I have, but you also, you know, you meet so many people through the sport who, you know, because I'm not a big drinker, I don't like going out, and you know, sometimes I feel really boring, and then doing this sport with people who have the same interests as me, similar goals, you know, it's just been really lovely. So I am very much looking forward to getting back into it all. So obviously with the off season, I'm going to be doing some updates with it here and there, but only as and when changes and things are there set to be made, because I know it can get a little bit sort of repetitive, but I will definitely be keeping in the flow, in the swing of things with how everything goes. So yeah, so that is the update. But right now, after talking for you for that long, I am hungry now, so I'm going to have a bagel with some beans, a baby bell and a side salad. So that's what I'm going to make now. I'll check in with you in a minute. The wind today is absolutely brutal, but it's so warm. I think this little man's struggling a little bit. Aren't you, sweetie pie? This is a new little entryway that we did recently from IKEA. If anyone's interested, below here, I mean, I can't remember what it was. Oh, it was just like a tiny little shoe rack and it looked horrendous, whereas this now looks much better. And in here as well, we haven't done it properly yet, but all these little shoes holder things, they were £1 from IKEA. So we've got full in there, and then in here it is empty. However, we've still got, these are like little nice smelly little bowl things, so we need to fill these up as well, but they were a great buy and only £1, so that was fantastic. I just filmed a TikTok. It's the one where people are like, this trend but all I wear is gym clothes, or this trend but whatnot. So I just did it for this trend but all I wear is black, because that is literally all it was, and it was a 15-second TikTok and it took me half an hour, 25 minutes. So hopefully that gets a couple of likes. I'm trying to up my TikTok game, mainly because I enjoy it, but it's like a full-time job, so I'm just trying to see what time is good to post on a Friday on a TikTok. What time is good to post on Friday for TikTok? 3 p.m. Do you know what, I'm going to try it now, because it is, I mean, it's 4 o'clock, so let's go now. And also, the main reason that I wanted to do this trend is because people have such bad rhythm and it's driving me insane, so I've done it to hopefully show people the rhythm that it's supposed to be. So let me show you. These are all my drafts. This took far too long. Right, let's upload it. Oh, hold on. One of my girls, the girls that I coach, she is an absolute machine, and she just messaged me. She's doing a High Rocks event or CrossFit event tomorrow, and then on Sunday she's doing a half marathon. So we're just feeding her up at the moment, feeding her all the way up. Good morning. So it's now Sunday morning. I stopped vlogging on Friday simply because my husband came back from the funeral that he sang, and he just basically had an evening chilled, and I also didn't really do anything that was of any worth showing you. So today is now Sunday. Yesterday was Saturday and I had my mum and dad round for lunch. They were here for a few hours. My hubby left early in the morning to go over to London, and then last night it was a party, like the 1 year anniversary of the party of the gym that I go to. So I went there with a couple of the girls I know from the gym, a couple of girls that I coach. So that was a really nice evening. Wasn't there too late, was asleep by midnight, and now it's just coming up 9 o'clock in the morning and I'm about to head to the gym. So I thought what I would do, hi guys, this one's had a poorly tummy this morning, so he's not best pleased. But I'm about to head to the gym and do my final workout of the week. So I just thought I would take you along with what that session is to close out this vlog. So I don't even really know what I filmed in this vlog. A little bit of what I did on Friday, just mainly updating on the bodybuilding side of things. Then I'll show you my workout. So this one is one of my favourite ones to do. It's posterior, so we've got deadlifts, leg presses, glute bridges. Oh, don't be sick again. Oh dear. So yeah, good session. So I'm going to switch over to my phone, so it might not be as good quality because my camera, I've just got too many things to take with me. So switch over to that. Now after my session, I'm going to go into the gym, into the spa, sorry, and just use the steam and sauna room. And then I'm going to come back, about 2 hours of laptop work, and then I'm just chilling for the rest of the day. So just gonna have a very chilled bank holiday Sunday. So that's the plan. So I will see you in the gym.